Hello, my name is Beth Dixon, and this is a continuation of our PowerPoint series on hypothesis testing for the mean using p-values. And because I took a break between the two sets, I'm not sure if this is part 3 or part 4. You'll see that on the screen which part it is, but I wish to thank Mrs. Borlaug for allowing me to use her PowerPoint to make this video and this set. And again, we are working on using the p-values to complete the hypothesis testing. And remember that we are working with this philosophy. If the p is less than alpha, then we reject HO. And if the p is greater than alpha, then we do not reject HO. And a way to help us to remember that is if the p is low, the null must go. And if the p is high, we let it fly. We make no changes. In the next example, the raw data is not given. Instead, the sample mean x bar, the sample standard deviation s, and the sample size n are reported. Example number 3. The weight of cabbage is normally distributed and a random sample of 25 cabbage has a mean of 17.31 ounces and a standard deviation of 1.62 ounces. Using a 0.10 level of significance, test the claim that the mean weight is less than 18 ounces. Notice that we have a sample mean of 17.31 ounces. We know it's a sample because it's the mean of that sample of 25 cabbages. So our x bar is 17.31. Our standard deviation from that sample is 1.62 ounces, so that gives us S as 1.62. And our sample size is N equals 25. With that information, we're ready to proceed. We do need to know our null and alternate hypothesis, so that would be HO and H1. So let's look for the claim. We're claiming that the mean weight is less than 18 ounces. Since that does not contain the condition of equality, that will be the alternate hypothesis. So that is that the mean is less than 18, which then gives us the null as the mean is greater than or equal to 18. We are ready to use, since this is a p-test and not the classical approach, we will go to Stat on our TI-83 or TI-84 calculator, then over to Test, then to t-test. On t-test, instead of using the raw data, we're putting in the statistics this time. So this time we will use the Stats option on the calculator. We will put in the 17.31, the standard deviation of 1.62, the N sample size of 25, and the alternate hypothesis as less than, and then we will choose Calculate. That gives us the same type of results as we had before, and our Calculate screen gives us a p-value of 0.02 and a t-score of negative 2.1296. And our p-value is 0.02. Our alpha is using a 0.10 level of significance, gives us an alpha of 0.10 and a p-value from our test screen of 0.0 or 0.0218. Therefore, our p-value is low. If the p is low, the null must go. If the p is high, we let it fly. And in this case, the p is the lower value. That means the null is rejected. So we will reject HO. And then we're ready for our sentence. And our sentence is in the same form as always, using a 0.10 level of significance. There is evidence to say that the mean weight of the cabbage is less than 18 ounces. Now we have some exercises. Notice that in the first few problems, Mrs. Borlaug is walking you through the steps before turning you loose on a full problem on your own. Here's exercise 2. Exercise 3. Exercise 4. Exercise 5. Notice that Mrs. Borlaug left out the structure that was in the previous problems. You do need to use that same structure on each problem, except this time you'll need to obtain your own T results using your TI-83 or TI-84 calculator. Exercise 6. Exercise 7. Exercise 8. And exercise 9. Exercise 10. Exercise 11. The previous problems can be worked using either p-values or classical approach and are great practice for students. As always, if you're a Walters State student and need additional help, feel free to stop by the Math Lab in MBSS room 222 to see me, Beth Dixon. Thank you for watching.